Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, AC Star, yo. I'm just chilling in the truck today. Yo, I wanted to do this little quick upload, man, for my morning start today because I want to apologize to all my viewers out there, my subscribers, and the people that's been checking out my channel lately. I want to first and foremost thank y'all for the support. But on the flip side, I'll let y'all know, yo, I've been down a little bit because my computer was messed up really bad, man. I don't know what happened. It just got fried. So I had got new internet. My bad about that. I had got new internet, and when I got the new internet, when I turned the computer back on, it wouldn't connect to the internet. So my computer was just fried. It wasn't compatible. The drivers, when I tried to download the drivers, they wouldn't take. You know what I mean? So I was just having problems with keeping the drivers in there. So the system was just a little outdated, you know what I'm saying? And it was time for me to upgrade. So I had to go ahead and upgrade. So that's why I wasn't able to do some shows. And I want to apologize to a few people that I have reached out to do interviews with and for, you know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's kind of messed up that I couldn't do that. I don't want people to think I was unprofessional. I just rather have a better, you know, sound system and a better computer system to do what I got to do, you know what I mean, to promote my channel and, you know, to give, you know, the best content I can. That way I can, you know, continue to do what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, and receive the support and the viewership that I've been getting, you know what I mean, in these few weeks that I've been attempting to start my own YouTube channel. So again, I just want to let y'all know, hopefully tomorrow we'll be back up and running. I just got a few things I need to, I need to check out. I had to get I got a different router. I got a stronger router in the crib. Even though it was already 5.0, my computer was only taking 2.4, but this brand new computer, I shouldn't have any problems with that. So everything should be good with my internet. Everything should be good with the setup. I got the wrong monitors. That's what I did wrong. I thought I ordered 24, but they sent me 22. But I'm gonna plug the 22s up, and when they send the 24s, I'll plug them up because I don't want to keep making excuses and, you know, not, you know, putting on my shows and shit, because I don't like, you know, the equipment that I got is brand new, you know, they 22s, so I'll just throw them up real quick, you know what I mean, so I can do tomorrow's show, and then when I get the 24s in, I'll go ahead and switch them out, you know what I'm saying, and I should be happy and have everything, you know, that I need to, you know, to produce quality content, you know, because, you know, I've been paying attention to, you know, information and things outside of, you know, YouTube that talk about, you know, how you do content, not outside of YouTube, but outside of like Black YouTube or the spaces that I be in, you know, the areas that I be in, you know. So I pay attention to a lot of content creators that talk about how, you know, you make better content. I know over here it's like, you know, you don't really need the equipment and this, that, and the third. And when you talk about things like that, it really don't matter because it's about the, you know, it's about the content, it's about the host, it's about the personality that has the show, which is true for the most part. That's very true. But I think having requisite equipment and the proper equipment and a proper setup also helps you because it attracts a different crowd, a different set of people. So I think that helps as well. But this is also kind of dope for me too, because it's something that I wanted to do for the culture. It was something that I wanted to do for the culture, and talk about the movie. What's the name? The movie Coming to America Part 2, right? And I want to give my little personal review of the movie, you know what I'm saying? Because I almost didn't watch the movie because I was, you know, I had seen a few people that I knew, you know, people that I'm familiar with, you know, give bad, not so much bad reviews, or just like saying, yo, man, it was trash, this and that. So I was hesitant to watch it. I was like, oh, man. Like, I don't want to waste my time. So my peoples was like, no, we going to watch it. So me, her, mother-in-law, you know what I'm saying, my son, you know, we was in the room. And we, you know, she put it on. And as we watched it, you know, for me, it was like I'm looking for, you know, the old, you know what I mean, the nostalgia part of it and the correlation back to the OG one, to the original one. So I'm looking for, you know, themes that go along with that, right? And for the most part, it held up, right? But the thing for me was I watched it with my girl, and I was like, okay, it was pretty good. It was all right. Like, you know, at that time when I first watched it the first time, I kind of gave it like a 6 or 7 on the scale, right? Like, you know, it was all right. It wasn't terrible. Like, it didn't, you know, totally, you know, suck. It was pretty decent, right? But what happened was the next day I had went over my people crib, my boy crib, my cousin crib. You know what I mean? Him, a few of his homeboys. We was in there watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like late night. You know what I mean? We was watching something. We watching sports or whatever. And he had threw it on because his daughter wanted to watch it. So he had threw it on for her. So we in there watching it. And I watched it from the beginning. Now, when I watched it with my people, I was in and out because I had did some work earlier that day, so I wasn't really like paying attention to it fully. You know what I'm saying? And I had missed certain parts because I was laying down, kind of dozing off. So I had missed certain parts, little things here and there that I didn't see, right? So when I watched it fully the second time and I didn't miss anything, I watched it all the way through from beginning to end, I was like, yo, this was pretty good. It was really good. I mean, there was a few cheesy parts in it. The whole Wesley Snipes and how he came in, that was cheesy as hell, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, but the little cameos was cheesy. The Rick Ross cameos and all that was cheesy. Michael Blackson, you know, he always over the top, right? But at the same time, it was for the culture, and they just did something, they packaged something that we can enjoy in the comforts of our home, right? Like they gave us like a black play, right? You know what I'm saying? Done over this new streaming way, right? Like the streaming way is the new wave, right? So they gave us a product, a black product that really hasn't been done yet. Like a black major product really hasn't been done yet on a streaming app, to the point where it's similar to that, where it's like you got the little shows that do the Wu-Tang thing and things of that nature, but something that was an OG movie and to replicate it, right? So when I watched it the second time, I had more of appreciation for it the second time, right? Because I didn't see the end where they brought all the people from Queens and they brought the two broads and the people, all the DJs love, like all that was dope, right? That was for the culture, right? Like all the what's the names to the culture, like all the different shout outs to the culture was so dope, and how they integrated it in there, and you know, and the language barrier and things of that nature, and the jargon that we use. So as I watched it again for the second time, I really appreciated it more the second time than I did the first time. And for me, my critique goes deeper because the genius for me in the movie, right? Because I give it an overall like an 8.3, 8.4 overall, right? That's what I give it after watching it my second time. Like I give it a 8, you know what I mean? 8 on a 10 scale, I give it like an 8. Just for the different memes and the different references back to the culture and to the past, and integrating the other movie, right? And then there was some scenes that really was, you know, well done, right? That was done well and captured the moment, and there was some fine ass women in that movie. Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ. Listen, Tiana Taylor, oh my God, her physique, just her presence, she's gonna blow up. She's gonna blow up. I know she loves music because I love her music. I love her album, but I just think her exoticness, as her exotic features and her exotic look is just gonna catch fire, right? Like, cause she was regal in that movie, like her look, and she was regal, right? She was like, damn, look at this young Slimmy, right? That's gonna take her off to another level. But back to the movie. So I gave it an 8 point something. But for me, the genius of the movie was how Eddie took his experiences with Disney and doing the Disney movies, i.e. Shrek, i.e. Mulan. Because if you listen and you pay attention to the storyline, it was no different than Shrek 3. If you got kids and you got grandkids, or you got young kids, or you got teenage kids that you had watching Shrek, and if you were a parent and you was with your kids and you seen Shrek 3 and you paid attention to it, you'll know what I'm saying. If you ain't never seen Shrek 3, just go read the IMDb of it, or just go get a little snapshot of it, and you'll see what I'm saying. Because the whole thing in Shrek 3 was, and I hope Disney don't hit me off with this, but the whole thing in Shrek 3 was the king was dying, right? The frog king was dying, and Fiona couldn't take over because she was a queen. She was a female, and then she was cursed with the Shrek, with the fucking ogre shit. So she couldn't take over. She couldn't be the face because I guess the fairy godmother had cursed him, whatever, right? And I know y'all like, why is this big ass nigga talking about Shrek? I'm just trying to show you the genius of what Eddie did and how he used a little bit of time and trying to capture the moment with the movie, and how he took his experiences with his Disney projects and infused them into this to make it have a narrative and not be off point, and still kind of bring it back to the overall story from the original, which I think was genius. So again, in Shrek 3, the whole thing was Fiona couldn't become the queen because she was a female. So the king sent Shrek out to go find Arthur, which was his some long lost relative, but he was a male, so therefore he was the heir to the throne. So he sent Shrek on this journey. So Shrek had to get on this boat, him, donkey, you know what I mean? And she was trying to tell Shrek, that's when she told Shrek she was pregnant and all that bullshit. So long story short, Shrek go find a dude. It didn't really work out. The dude, you know what I mean? It kind of panned out where it was like, you know, Fiona and Shrek, y'all could be the leaders or whatever. Just like with this, where the succession went to the queen, where they was, you know, changing it to where the woman could lead the kingdom, right? Where they was trying to, you know, be equal and share an equitable in allowing women to lead. So it's the same thing. So for me, and then the whole thing with the warrior, because Wuhan is about a fighter, so he mixed the whole thing, because Wuhan, she was a female warrior who became, you know, a fighter. And if you see his daughter, who became the, you know, who he was telling, you're going to become the queen when I die, you ain't got to worry about your brother. He taught her how to be a fighter and all that, you know what I'm saying, from the movie Wuhan. Because if you remember, he was the dragon in Wuhan. He was her right-hand man, right? Just like he was Shrek, Donkey, and what's name. So he took those two experiences, in my opinion. I feel like he took those two experiences and infused them into the making of Coming to America and the storyline. Because as we all know, Eddie softened up. Like Eddie did Disney, right? Eddie did Dr. Dolittle, you know what I'm saying? You know, all the other movies after his Boomerang and Harlem Night days and his Beverly Hills Cop days after Beverly Hills 4. He's like, all right, I can't do that no more. He bombed with that. So he jumped on the animation. He jumped on doing the family-friendly movies, right? And he killed them on that, right? The Dr. Dolittles, the Shreks and all that. He killed them. Even though he wasn't the main character, we all knew that Eddie was the man. He was cool with being, you know, Donkey. He was cool with being the dragon in Wuhan, but he still was making money. He still was making money hand over fist. It was blockbuster movies, so he was still involved in blockbuster shit. So that experience allowed him to infuse that shit into this shit, and he took that shit to the next level. And that, for me, is what made the movie good, because he didn't go try to search for no plot and make it all unbelievable. It was like, okay, I'm going to take my Disney experiences and infuse it and make this family friendly, because we all at the crib chilling, right? It's a streaming movie, so he made it so everybody can come, because it wasn't too vulgar, it wasn't too crazy, it had comedy in it, you know what I mean? It was, you know, it had a little cursing here and there, but your family could watch it. It wasn't so over the top that your kids probably didn't hear that in normal conversations in the environment that they in. So that was the genius of it, that it was family friendly, and it dealt with some issues that, you know, because in our community we have this back channel conversation about, do African Americans and Africans get along? So it also brought that idea to the table, right? Because now these groups are very influential, because you're getting a upper class blacks group mixing in with the Africans who are coming in, and they're buying into education. They're buying, so, and this kind of friction between those groups. It may not be visible to everybody, but we know as people it's an underlying friction. So also to merge those ideas and to bring all those African American people and to merge it with the ideas of the mother continent and our brothers and sisters over there, I think he did a lot for the culture with this movie. Like, if you're overcritical and you're looking for it to be a perfect cinematic situation, then you're going to find issues. But if you're just checking it out for the culture and checking it out for the nostalgic of it and checking it out to just, you know, see black excellence, you know what I mean? Because it was an all-black cast, right? And all the people that they brought back and all the people that they reintroduced to the new generation, I thought it was amazing. I mean, for me, the reason why I don't give it like a 9 or a 10, the cinematography. Like I'm big on cinematography, and when I see it's kind of cheesy, and it doesn't have that cinematography flow, and that look is not, action, motion picturesque, and I can see you kind of cheated the budget on your cinematography, that takes away from me. So that's the only really, issue I had with it. That I took a little bit away from that because the cinematography wasn't all that, good. It was kind of cheesy. Like when he came to Queens and he was running, it was kind of cheesy a little bit. But at the same time, the storyline, and then, at the church and they in Queens, so it just was like, oh, man. So you kind of forgot about the cheesiness because they started bringing you back, to the original movie, and how, we didn't know the backstory of the Reverend from the rally, right? The what's the name rally, right? You know what I mean? We didn't know he had a church. We never seen his sanctuary. So when we seen his sanctuary, he had no pen. It all made sense, right? You know what I'm saying? It all made sense. You know what I'm saying? And it went off how, he met with his girl and everything, and he was able to be a father and give him that moment. So it was dope. It was dope. And it was still done in Queens. You know what I mean? So I give Eddie, and see, I'm cool with Eddie because I love what Eddie. Now I'm gonna just go back a little bit. I'm cool with Eddie because I love what Eddie did with the Rudy Ray Moore, aka Dolomite story. Right? If y'all never seen that, check that out. A lot of people that like, I love it, especially if you was a Dolomite fan and you seen Dolomite movies, and Eddie being, because Eddie is the god. Like we give it to Rich because Rich set the standard, but when Eddie came on the scene, Eddie knocked it out the park. Eddie had Rich sitting on the side of the show, on the side of the stage, like, damn, this motherfucker just killed. Eddie is the god. So for Eddie Murphy to find Rudy Ray Moore's story so appealing that he was willing to consume the character and make a movie and make that project, I found that to be just great. Just a great, humane, a show of humility, a show of revere, for the great Rudy Ray Moore, right? It was just, and if you know the movie, it was the movie, and Eddie's movie it was one and the same. It was so beautiful and perfect, and to know the backstory of Big or Queen Bee, and to know that Queen Bee is some broad, it was just dope. It was dope because we don't know the stories of the blaxploitation heroes of the past, the Dolomites. All we hear is the folklore. So for Eddie to do that, that's what put me on. And then for him to come back with Coming to America, Eddie really doing it big for the culture right now. You know what I'm saying? And even though Eddie always kind of been above the culture and been in Hollywood and doing it with the major labels and the major brands, for him to come back and do these two projects and immerse the culture, had the Rick Rosses and the Michael Black. Like, Michael Blackson is not a major comedian on any level. He's still chilling circuit. But to bring all the culture, because he brought the culture to the table. That movie was for the culture, by the culture, about the culture. Literally, because it was for us, about us, by us, right? And that's what I loved about it. So my review of the movie is 2 thumbs up, 8.5, 8.2, 8.5. I take away from the cinematography, some of the cheesy moments, the whole cheesy aspect of Wesley Snipes' character. Not to say that it wasn't a funny character, because it was. And we know, though, if you pay attention to African warlords, they're kind of weird like that and kind of have this hybrid, like, they want to be hood gangsters and still carry African tradition. They kind of want to merge the culture with their warlord mentality. If you look up, the Nigerian guys and the Kenyan guys that's dealing with the oil gas lines and all that, and some of them, I don't know about the ones who are negotiating with, Islam. I don't think they would allow for that kind of behavior when you're dealing with Islamic terrorism groups. But I think the ones who are just like internal warlords who just trying to get a piece of the pie and get the bag, however they want to get the bag, I think that they do have an element of that American gangster cheesy shit with them. So maybe they had something going there. But I want to drop on 2 more points before I shut this down, because this is a quick upload, trying something different. But I also, this was also kind of like update on what was going on, why I haven't been doing lives lately, and that whole thing. And I hope if y'all check it out, I uploaded a video yesterday of me unboxing my stuff. So once I get everything situated, I'm gonna do a little upload on, I got it working, the mic and the, in the what's the name, and my little mic, what's my amplifier and all that. So what I'm gonna do is, just give a little thing, because I'm unboxed the mic, unboxed the little USB audio box that I got and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the two other things I want to talk about real quick before I sum this up. The chick in Arizona, the Cinema, I think Kristen Cinema, the senator from Arizona, Kristen Cinema, who did her best impression of the mean girl bullshit when she went up there the other day in the Senate chamber trying to do the same thing John McCain did when he voted down, I think it was some bill, something I think they was trying to pass, the Republicans were trying to pass, some shit Trump was trying to pass, and John McCain sank their battleship. So, in some supposedly fake honor of what he did, this bimbo walks up there, and yes, I'm calling her a bimbo, because if you go and look up Christian Cinema, United States Arizona Senator, Democrat, right? I'm a moderate Democrat, moderate independent Democrat, and people know I ride for the Democratic Party. But this is one of the understandings that I have when you guys express your fucking frustration with both parties, and when you talk about the racism that exists within the Democratic Party, I don't disagree with you, right? But what I always try to talk about is the black power brokers that we're seeing emerge. And in that emerging, hopefully motherfuckers like this, Kristen Cinema, will get washed the fuck out. Because if you go back and watch the video, I'm going to talk about this when I come on live tomorrow. If you go back and you watch the fucking video of this broad going to the Senate chamber with knickers on, right? She had on the whole mean girl. So if you went to high school, I don't give a fuck if you went to an all white, all black, all Spanish. All of us had the fucking mean girl clique, right? Where they all dressed the same and they all tried to dress like white girls but add their little Latino, Asian or whatever mixed twist to it, where they had the long skirts, they had the short skirts with the stockings and they had their little leather book bag. This was when that was out, right? So she walks up with that motherfucking outfit on, straight white mean girl, and does some shit, some fit. Like, this is United States Senator, someone that was elected to go and do the people's business in a time where shit is serious. We're in the midst of a pandemic. We're in the midst of a racial undertone that's tearing at the fabric of the nation. Like, we have serious. We just had storms that showed the fragility of the infrastructure of the country, where large states where people died from hypothermia, where people in Texas, Arizona died from hypothermia, right? Where they froze to fucking death, right? We have these serious issues at hand, and here we have a United States Senator go and do some shameless bullshit like that. Now, I would expect that from a freshman congresswoman or freshman congressman, but an elected fucking senator, right? Where you in college, right? Being a senator, motherfucker, you ain't in high school, like you getting your master's, like you ain't in college, you ain't a full-time student forever. You done graduated, you trying to do some other shit. And the display that you do on some shit where you're voting on something that will change people's economic lives and change their economic perspectives, and they will get paid a living wage, right? $15 an hour. That's what she was voting on. The $15 an hour minimum wage raise, where 8 Democratic senators all voted for that shit, voted no on that shit, right? Democrats. Now this dimwit is gonna do this shit. When you see this shit, all you're gonna think instantly is, the first thing I thought was mean girl, mean white girl, saying, at the end of the day, I get to decide that you guys don't get a raise until I say so, till I think it's necessary. Like, that's all that shit was. And when I tell you that all this shit is the Democratic Party is trying to be led by white women who want to take the power away from white men, and everybody's a fucking victim of it, because she wants to have some kind of display of, I'm here now, people can't get a living wage. Like, that's where we at. Because this woman didn't grow up, and because she made it, and she rose to the top to be a senator just to thumb her nose back at motherfuckers who probably had problems with her in high school. She went on the United States Senate floor and voted on something as serious as people getting $15 an hour as the base minimum wage in this country, to set a federalized minimum wage that will allow people to rise up out of poverty. She came with some 1989 Sweet 16 weird science bullshit. Straight up. This ain't nothing. She did the Breakfast Club. Watch the Breakfast Club. She the mean bitch in the Breakfast Club. See, like, they can't get away from who they are. No matter what, it's going to come out. And that's what that was. A shameless display that they're not serious about the people's business. They're not serious about body politic, the civics. That's why January 6th happened, because they're not serious, people. This is some get back. This is some beef between them and, again, African Americans and people of color, other indigenous groups, other immigration groups that came here for a better life, is now caught in between this goofball shit. Goofball shit. This bitch came down there and was like, like, if you see that shit was just shameless, unprofessional, sucker shit. Real live 1987 to 88 white teenage movie shit. Some shit we all, if you in your late 30s, 40s, you experienced in high school with the fucking Mean Girls. So, thanks to her and some other bullshit ass moderate Democrats who are afraid of the backlash from January 6th, who are, I mean, because they voted against it because of the white businessmen that don't want to pay people to live in wages in their districts. That's the only reason. They're afraid. They did that because they're afraid to lose their seats, and they're afraid to lose their positions in life because they don't want backlash from the people who put money in their pockets, i.e. the businessmen and women. So even in that sense, black people, we just gotta find the competent, confident, articulate black politicians that talk about the things that will get us where we need to be and have actually shown you that they created legislation that benefits us as a people. Point blank. No matter, well, I'm not going to say the Republican Party because I'll never vote for a black person in the Republican Party. I'll never vote for a Republican, ever. 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 Sorry. Not happening. I don't give a fuck what they do. Last thing, while we on the idea of legislation, the Senate passed the 1.9 stimulus bill, right? So that's done. So once it get on his desk, I guess, and it's signed, the IRS, to start working on, not the IRS, I think it's IRS or revenue, I think it's IRS, whoever sends out the stimulus, I think it's the IRS who sends it out, or I think it's the IRS. Well, anyway, so those checks will start coming out, and that's going to help people, but it's other little things in the bill, like I was talking about before, that are beneficial, that's working on poverty, right, on the low. And when people talk about what the Democrats do, or they ain't do this, or Biden gonna do this and that, you ain't gonna really get true critics of him to really dig down deep and see the beneficial measures within this bill. Like, if a person got 5 kids, right, and it's a family of 2, and they make about 90,000, 80, 90,000 a year, and they got 5 kids, they about to get broke off. Because you got the 5 kids and the 2 adults. If you got a family of 4, that's 6,000 damn near. Like, this is bread that's about to hit people's bank accounts. Bam. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. A free $6,000 is a free $6,000. A free $1,400 is a free $1,400. And I know they probably should give us way more, and it should have been a continual thing to allow people to really bounce back and allow people to have the resources to help the economy back. Because everybody ain't just going to save that money. Whether people invest, but people going to use that money. Like all them people that talk about, oh, I'm saving, I'm going to do this. I mean, even if you flip it and then you bounce it in the stock market, Bitcoin, or whatever, you're still putting it back out there into the universe to be used. So it's going to stimulate some environment, whatever environment you would, even if you put it in the bank, saving it, right? And it's just sitting in the bank, right? The bank is using that money to loan to other people, because if they can guarantee that your money in there, they can use just savings that you got, right, in your bank account to give to somebody else, because they know they got other people, you got to pay for that account. So the interest and all that you earn and all, they using that shit to make money. So it's going to be, beneficial to everyone. But one of the points I wanted to talk about was the idea of the tax credit thing, which used to be associated yearly, right? Your tax credit for children used to be given to you at the end of the year, right? Like a tax credit, and it was like $2,000 per child or something like that. Now they're making it where it's incremental, and I think they're trying to make it where they give you every month, and it's within the bill. I don't know if they figured out exactly how these payments will be levied out, but it's $3,600 for kids 6 and under, and it's $3,000 for kids 17 and under. So if a family getting an extra, they getting an extra 300, or they getting like an extra, I guess it's 300 for this kid, and I guess it's 150 for the older kids a month. You know what I mean? Just a stipend a month. I know people call that socialism, whatever, but that will benefit America. That ain't gonna just benefit. That's gonna benefit you if you got services. Motherfuckers might be checking out your channel and get that little stimmy and donate to your channel. Whether it's 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you know what I'm saying? You might benefit from that stimmy. So before we start labeling it socialism and things like that, we got to start labeling it. They got to get poverty out the equation, because if you start dealing with the issues of poverty, you can start dealing with the issues of crime. And if we start dealing with the issues of crime, then we can start dealing with the issues of dysfunction within our community, right? And I'm not saying that these little incremental financial, windfalls will address poverty in totality, because that's a bigger picture. That's about bias. That's about education. That's about opportunity. That's about the economic environment, commerce, things of that nature, because commerce dictates what you get, right? And education and what the community is made of. So if the community is made of doctors and lawyers, the services and education is better. If it's made of professional people, cops, firemen, whatever, it's going to be whatever, right? So the environment is dictated by the people that encapsulate and live within the environment. So if you start implementing incremental changes to people's economic lives, and you start giving people little economic incentives, and it's not so arduous to raise kids, and it'll lessen their time, and then they can invest more into their kids, because it's about investing time into your kids. Not to say that people shouldn't already do that or know that, but if you working trying to keep the bills on, and you working and trying to keep your family on above water, you know how hard it is to really be there for your kids all the time, because you're putting in that hours trying to get that money. So let's see where this goes. You know what I'm saying? I guess in the next couple weeks, by the end of the month, middle of the month, by the 21st, I think from like the 21st through the 30th, people will start seeing it by, electronic transfer, and then I guess the checks will start rolling out afterwards. But it's here, it's law, it's legislation, it's been passed. So, it's on and popping. So, yo, man, this was a little quick upload, man. My reviewer coming to America. A little talk about why I haven't been, doing lives lately. And, a little talk about Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Please look that up. Please look at the ignorance of that lady. And just, we're in bad shape if these are the people that we have within our Senate. The Republicans, is terrible. But the Joe Manchins, the Chris Coons, this Kristen Sinema lady, Democrats can't win for losing, man. We get a victory and we just snatch it out, and it's always them. It's always them. They always show their true colors. So, yo, this your man AC Star, man. I want to thank everybody that's going to click this video. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back at y'all tomorrow. Peace.